So, so thank you. Today I'll be talking with Dr. Justin Goldston, who is a professor at Penn State and a 5-time TEDx talker. So let's get right into it. Why don't you explain to me, how did you get involved with Web3?
So I was teaching at the Jack. First off, thanks for having me. How rude of me. But I was teaching an executive MBA program at the Jack Welch Management Institute, and one of the students, he was a director at John Deere, if I recall correctly. He asked me a question. He said, "Dr. Goldston, I read an article where they're saying blockchain is going to disrupt the supply chain industry." And back in those days, I just knew about Bitcoin and things like that because I was in a crypto space. But then I started going down the now 6-year rabbit hole of blockchain. So my research at blockchain led to me reaching out to Cornell. So at the time, I think Cornell was the second university in the U.S. to offer a blockchain, and they said, we're working on developing out this blockchain program. So we made some contributions, and then that research kind of led to those 5 TED Talks on blockchain. And back then when I was doing my research, there's only like 12 TED Talks on blockchain, period. 12 TEDx Talks or TED Talks on blockchain, period. Now every 4th or 5th one's talking about Web3 and blockchain, we've come a long way, but we're still early.
Okay. And is Web3 just blockchain and cryptocurrency, or is there's some other stuff like AI and et cetera?
Yep. So whenever I define Web3, I always say my definition. Everybody's going to have a different definition, but my definition is it's the collision course. Shout out to Lincoln Park and Jay-Z of blockchain, artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and then other people can include AR and VR. I think that not only are we still years away from wide adoption of blockchain, I think we're even further away from the integration of AR and VR into the metaverse. That's just my thoughts, based on what I see in the space. So it's the convergence of a number of things. I think that you're going to see in further out past the AR and VR milestone. I think you're going to see, the inclusion of quantum computing and things like that.
Okay. Now, in what way will AI aid in changing the world?
So AI in the coming years, AI is going to be included in pretty much everything we do, in my opinion. AI and machine learning are impacting our lives now. In many cases, we just don't know it. In many cases, I would say every single viewer is interacting with AI every single day. If you're on social media, you're interacting with AI or machine learning in some shape or form. So AI is going to have an even larger impact on Web3. If you or your viewers are familiar with Altered State Machine, they're developing what they refer to as non-fungible intelligence, where they have NFTs, and you're able to take these AI brains and put that brain into your NFT. So they have this one project called Fluff World, and they're also partnering with the Bored Ape Yacht Club, among other NFT projects. So now what they're trying to do is with their use cases, they're going to create crypto bots. They're going to have non-player characters. You're going to have metaverse helpers, for the lack of a better term, metaverse assistants, if you will, because you're going to be training that NFT. You're going to be training that brain, right, to interact in the metaverse. So one project we're working on now is called SIGTech DAO. So we're actually building a university in the metaverse. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just on taking a look at a few videos on SidTech, and it's really helping expand my knowledge because no one's really well grounded in blockchain technology. So that's kind of helping me out a little bit as I further my education.
Yeah. So yeah, so if you go to SidTech DAO, if you go to SidTech DAO on YouTube, we provide a number of videos. We actually work with Polkadot to host a number of workshops on the protocol. And our last two events, we actually live streamed it in the metaverse. So we actually held the last two Polkadot workshops in the metaverse.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Polkadot was like a Ponzi scheme.
Polkadot. So to give you some history, Dr. Gavin Wood was is one of the co-founders of Ethereum. Gavin Wood led the developments of Ethereum in the early days. So Gavin Wood had this vision of interoperability in blockchain, and he went off to found Parity, as well as the Web3 Foundation, where Polkadot was born out of that. So just similar to Polkadot, you have Polkadot, which is a layer 0, and you have Cosmos as layer 0. Some people will say Avalanche is a layer 0. You can leave that up to, I'll leave that up to to discussion in the comments. but you know, Polkadot is a layer 0, which means that they have a relay chain, and every single project that gets added to that relay chain is a layer 1, right?
Okay.
Now, you can also, you have these layer 1s. So let's just use Akala. Akala is one of those projects. So now Akala is a layer 1. So then other projects can build up on top of Akala as a layer 2. So similar to Optimism, you know, within the Ethereum network. So Polkadot is creating this true interoperability. They're creating this cross communication where you can actually communicate with other blockchains. So with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, and things like that. So Polkadot, it has the vision. I know a lot of people talk a lot of junk about Cardano, but I would say that Polkadot and Cardano have more of a strategic vision. They don't want to just build something and generate, you know, get the investors in there and collect money. No, they have the long-term vision of blockchain and how we view it from an institutional, from an enterprise perspective. You know, I think that you're going to see a lot, in my opinion, this is just my thoughts. You're going to see a lot of organizations, large organizations, working on Polkadot just because of the interoperability. Now you're going to see organizations working on other blockchains as well, but because of the interoperability of Polkadot, you're going to see that. Now you also have this, you have bridges and things like that, but that's just built for you know, bridging cryptocurrencies and things like that. But in terms of cross-chain communication, what the true vision of blockchain was, I think that Polkadot is actually building that out now. So,
okay,
you know, all blockchains aren't created equal. And, you know, I think that, you know, Polkadot and Cosmos are kind of in the league of their own.
thank you for explaining that. Now I understand you're involved with a few projects like decentralized finance and decentralized exchange. Can you explain what the difference between those two are?
So decentralized finance, let me back up. So I would say that decentralized finance is the practice. And I would say that decentralized exchanges are the tools to participate in the DeFi practice. So we actually wrote, so one of my peers and I from India, we actually wrote the very first academic peer-reviewed journal article on hybrid finance. So hybrid finance is going to be the inclusion of centralized finance like banks and decentralized finance like we see in the crypto space. So whenever you're developing solutions like that, that is what's going to bring in these enterprises and organizations, because similar to what we've seen in the past with, you know, with Blockbuster, what we've seen in the past, you know, with these other internet organizations. If these banks are going to try to fight Web3, if they're going to try to fight DeFi, in my opinion, some of these smaller banks, they're going to go bank, they're going to fail. Because where else can you get, you know, 5% on stablecoin? The banks can't compete with that, but they're safer now because it's going to take years for that wide adoption. And that's the key. That's the key for anyone. If you, whoever, and this can be anybody, and that's why I love Web3, right? You don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have money. If you can provide value, let's go. Lego, right?
That's right.
Once whoever can create the on-ramp for the masses, that's going to be the winner. And that's one thing that I tell a lot of people, in that just create the tooling. Create the tooling for different protocols. So because we're starting to see it now. If you go on CoinMarketCap, you'll see the number of cryptocurrencies, a number is dwindling by the day. Number of exchanges going down by the day. So a number of these organizations, they're not going to survive this bear market. But if you create the tooling for multiple platforms, you're gonna have sustainability within this Web3 space, because it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back, but nobody knows how long this winter is gonna be.
It always does. It always does. And I have a philosophy, like, if you can't beat them, join them. So that's exactly what the bank's gonna do right off the rip, or later on down the road.
And we're seeing that with NFTs. We see Budweiser. We're seeing Budweiser coming into the NFT game. You see Pepsi, the Pepsi mic drop coming into the NFT game. Tiffany's, I think they raised like 12 million or something like that in 20 minutes, something crazy. But no, I forgot. It was in the millions. It might have been over 100 million. I don't know. But they raised that. They raised millions, put it that way. They raised millions in 20 minutes to take CryptoPunks and create a physical pendant. You know, so you're gonna see a lot of this digital conversion with these organizations. So if you look back with Adidas, you know, they partnered up with G Money, Punks, and the Bored Apes. So if you got that NFT, you burnt the first NFT, and you're able to get physical jumpsuit, right?
Right.
Now, once you burn that NFT, then you placed your order for that jumpsuit, but then they gave you another NFT for the next phase, but you don't know what it is, right? Then they airdropped us another NFT, right? So organizations are getting into this space. You know, you're seeing H&M building in Decentraland. You're seeing a bunch of organizations developing headquarters in a lot of these metaverses and things like that. So in speaking with the Web2 organizations, they're trying to figure it out. And there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about.
And they just play stupid too. They act like, and they talk down about it until they actually get into it.
They do. So like last year at 8 Fest, you know, you had organizations such as Sony. Don't know how they got in there, but you know, you had people such as Sony asking questions, you know, to ape holders and things like that. So, you know, money talks, and I mean, you've seen where the Bored Ape Yacht Club is working with A16Z. You know, I have no problem with it, but other people are saying that, you know, the projects such as Bored Apes are selling out. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. But you know, you're going to have you know, differing opinions in this Web3 space, in this decentralized space. And going back to that, you know, there's been some people that have blackballed me because I say we need regulation. Yeah. We need regulation because it's getting too crazy out here.
Exactly. You know? And people are finding loopholes and getting out of hand and doing things that are just mind-boggling. But yeah, we got a little away from financial banking. I'm a little bit concerned about people in third world countries And how can we educate them about decentralized banking and trading?
That's one of the reasons why we started CITTech. We want to democratize education. And I'm close with professors from MIT. My other business partner, he went to grad school at MIT, so he has connections with MIT. I'm actually working with University of Southern California on developing a course in a master's program. So I've been speaking with a number of professors from those schools, from Ivies, and I said, look, yes, you might make low six figures teaching. Yes, you're world renowned, right? I said, but you can take that same exact content you teach at Princeton, you teach at Harvard, right? And you can come into the metaverse. You can teach to thousands of people in third world countries, and you can make 3 times, 5 times what you make within higher education at the top university, some of the top universities in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So the metaverse and Web3 is going to provide these people in these countries with the education that they would never ever be able to receive. Now, another thing is the tools are out there. YouTube, in my opinion, especially in the Web3 space, YouTube is the greatest tool right now, because me being an educator, if I want to write a peer-reviewed academic journal article in the A journal, it takes a year. It takes a year to get reviewed. It takes time to do edits. It takes time to get feedback. So that hybrid finance article, a colleague made the announcement last June, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We wrote the article in July. It only got published in March. Close to a year. Took a year to get one article published. So if you do that in the Web3 space, in the blockchain space, as quickly as it moves, by the time that article comes out, it's obsolete, it's old.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And within the Web3 space, within the higher education space, we do have some journals that we refer to as open access. They don't have the paywalls where the university libraries have to pay all these subscription fees and things like that. You're providing this knowledge to everybody, right? So that's aligned with Web3, right? And decentralization and democratization. So we also wrote the first academic journal article on the metaverse. So you can find that on my LinkedIn page. It took me a year to write it because everything was changing by the time I was getting close to being done, right?
Yeah.
But because it was open access, it didn't take a year like these other, traditional journals. So you're seeing some of the younger researchers, some of the younger professors are primarily looking to publish in open access because they're providing that knowledge to everybody, especially within Web3, because it takes so long to get something published.
So does CITTech help with real-time learning? And does it how do I say, keep people from getting confused, like what they learned like 2 weeks ago and from changing from it being now?
What do you mean by that?
Like, so like it's progressively mooning. We're learning in real time, right? So like say if CITTech put a video out like 6 months ago, for an example, and then something changed. How do we keep in real time from learning?
Oh, I see what you're saying. You have to continue to, it's like the blockchain space, the Web3 space, it's almost like social media. It's almost like a YouTube channel, like Bankless. Bankless is going on, 5 days a week in some cases, right? Because they have to keep up. They have to keep up with the market, BitBoy Crypto. There's also an interview on BitBoy Crypto on the CITTech page. Shout out to BitBoy. But you have to have that mindset so that everyone is staying abreast with all the news. I always tell people I got a PhD, but I'm learning every single day. You have to learn every single day. You can't step away for 2 days, right? So that current education is going to be something that is, even with artificial intelligence, you're going to have to keep abreast with it. And that's something that the only way to give the people what they need is to democratize it. and make it available for everybody. Everybody learns for free. And we're introducing a learn and earn model. We're paying you to learn.
Like kind of like what Coinbase does.
Exactly. So like what Coinbase, Binance, what all these people do for airdrops, for to get approval, you know, to trade certain things and things like that. Yes, learn and earn model. I mean, it's out there. It's nothing different, but it's kind of like, it's almost like in real time at scale.
Now,
Like
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Can grade students learn this? Grade school students learn how to blockchain and like get an early jump? By the time they get to college, they'll be like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I have like my seeds planted. It's time to spread my roots, spread my flowers, so on.
Yeah. So Georgia in the United States, state of Georgia in the United States, they actually passed a bill where they're introducing financial literacy, and they're teaching you know, grades, I think high school. They're teaching high school students about crypto and Bitcoin and things like that. So you're starting to see some states that are adopting it, but with another partnership we have with TCG World. So TCG World is on Binance Smart Chain, and whenever we did the partnership, the CEO, he said, I know you're focused on higher education. He said, but I want to make it inclusive to elementary school and middle schools as well. So within TCG World, we're going to have elementary, middle school, high school, college within the TCG World, right? So yeah, if you go to tcg.world and you go to the map, you'll see how large the university plot is. But you have to do it. But the most important thing is, when you talk about the metaverse, these high schoolers are going to be teaching us. Think about it. They've been playing in Roblox and Minecraft for fun for years. Most of them, that's all I know, right? They don't play games. They play Minecraft and Roblox, right? So one of the main people on the Sit Tech project, he's Command Geek. Shout out to Command Geek. He's got something like 300,000 followers on YouTube. All he does is build in Minecraft, right?
Right.
And my business partner, once I told my business partner, he said, Justin, he said, so you're telling me you're going to have a 17-year-old teaching 35-year-old executives about how to build a metaverse? I said, developers that are talking about this stuff can't touch these kids in building. They can't come close, right? So, you know, these kids, that kid, because he's a 18-year-old in Switzerland. I think he graduated this past semester. He probably has so many projects during the bull run in the metaverse. I said, he's probably going to show up to his freshman year in college in a Lambo.
That's true.
So,
there's kids out there that know how to work an iPhone better than their own parents.
Yeah. I mean, you have these young kids, writing scripts in Roblox. It's nuts.
Yeah.
You know, and so we also have another project that we partnered with called Black Unicorns down in Florida, where
that's where I'm from. Actually, that's where I'm at right now. Port Charlotte.
Okay, got you. Yeah, so she's down in Tampa, and so she's been educating high school students on artificial intelligence for years. You know, so she's going to bring in that knowledge into you know, the metaverse and educating, you know, middle school and high school students on artificial intelligence. But one thing that we're trying to get some research on is how young can these students begin to use these headsets, you know, these VR headsets. You know, so because I think that there was one study that came out, you know, years ago where, you know, it might have an impact on, you know, development and things like that. So we're waiting to get some more definitive research to see when we can actually introduce AR and headsets and things like that to middle school and high school students, elementary school students.
All right. So we're coming to an end now. First off, thank you for spending time. I know you're busy. Any last words that you want to share before we close?
The biggest thing for the audience is that every single role in the Web2 space, in the IRL space, is going to come to Web3. It's going to come to the metaverse, right? Now, with NFTs, again, I participate in the NFTs and things like that, but we have yet to see the true use case for NFTs. I think NFTs are going to disrupt the legal sector. I think it's going to disrupt the real estate industry. I think it's going to disrupt supply chain. I think it's going to disrupt the medical industry. You know, so whatever you're doing within the Web2 space in your day job, you know, see how that can be transferable within the Web3 space. You know, I think that now more than ever, people see the importance of marketing. You know, people see the importance of social media. I didn't touch Twitter until I started messing in crypto last year. I don't like social media, right? But without social media, without marketing, the project won't survive, in my opinion. You know, and big fan of Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone said, I'm not, he said, I am nowhere close to the best real estate developer or the best real estate guy. He said, but I'm the best marketer. Right. So that's one of the biggest things that I've learned in this space is that, you know, marketing is going to be very important. And also, you know, the transparency is going to be important in the Web3 space, and community is going to be very important. Now, the only way that the decentralized metaverse is going to sustain is if we do it together. Because Meta's coming out with some good stuff. I'm not a fan of centralization, but their metaverse and the things that they're doing, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now the metaverse is a little bit, the people in the metaverse are a little bit vulgar, and I'm not a fan of that, but that's where the Web3 space, that's where the blockchain space is going to mitigate that risk, because these protocols are introducing slashing. So if you do any kind of nefarious acts, if you have any discriminatory comments or something in the metaverse, somebody can bring that to the council, they can vote on it, and then that person can actually get their token slashed. They can get their tokens taken away. You know, so I'm a fan of that. Some people say, well, that's centralization. Well, if you don't have some things in place, it's gonna be the Wild West like we have now. And you see how that's working out for us.
Right. You need to have law and order. You need to have governance. And that's
even if it's decentralized governance, you need to have some kind of governance structure.
Yeah, that's a good way to keep society rolling. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you, and I wish you the best with your endeavors. Good luck this weekend, and have a great, I hope to see you in the future.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Yep. See you.